Elijah, what really stood out to me, man, from watching your highlight video was just your reaction and your trigger of just boom. As soon as you saw something, you were downhill or you were beating at the angle, the correct angle you needed to take, and it was of how quickly you triggered up. If you were getting the block, you were shedding that thing, you were ripping through, and not letting that stop you. Okay, just that trigger, that is what really stood out to me on your highlight video. And you don't see that sometimes in a lot of linebackers. You don't see that instinct, that quick trigger on that, and that's something that you really got, I think. Now, my suggestions for your highlight video are the following. Okay, the first thing is to add an information slide at the very beginning of your video. The best way to do this is to go on Canva, all right, and this is free. You'll go on there, make a slide, and on this slide you want to have the information of your name, school, graduation year, position, height and weight, X account, email, and phone number. Okay, put that info on the left of that slide, put a picture of you on the right, download that, and then upload that to the very first thing on your Huddle highlight video. And the reason we want to do that, okay, so there's a couple of them. The first one is so when a coach pulls up your film, boom, all that information he needs is right there. He doesn't got to wait to the end. He doesn't got to go try to track it down on a recruiting sheet or whatever. It's all right there for him to see. Okay. And secondly is because of how short and valuable a college coach's time is, they don't have a lot of time to go try to find a kid on X. Have to search through their name and then try to find the handle account or the username account, or trying to track down a phone number. Because I have seen, and personally I've had to do it, of there's trying to find a kid on X or track down a phone number. I can't do it, and so you have to pass on the kid because you don't have the time to go track that stuff down. Okay. So have that stuff available, have that information slide. That'd be very helpful for you. Okay. Next thing is removing plays / non-highlights. Okay. And this is more anything that doesn't showcase your strength or transfer to the next level as much. All right. And more so of these are all still good plays, but how can we maybe take these out and move that needle for you? Okay. And I see it more as a compared to some of your other plays, these may be ones that maybe hinder it more so compared to the way you're popping people and stuff like that, to where these ones don't show you popping as much. Okay. And like I said, if we want to move that needle, so maybe you're a 10 on a coach's board, we take these two plays out, boom, now you're a 5 or 3 or a 2, okay, or a 1. All right. And example of that here is at the 131 mark. Okay, I've got both of them listed here at the 131 and the 342 for the timestamp purposes, but just to kind of show you what I'm seeing. Okay, compared to some of your other ones here, boom. And it's not that, like I said, this is not a bad play. Do not get me wrong. It's just that how you were expecting him to boom go here more off the guard, so you cut this way, but he cut back, and you just kind of had to fall a little bit, and you get drugged. Okay, just a couple yards. Now, like I said, this is a great reaction, but compared to your other ones, the minute and 30 seconds before this of everything you're popping. Okay, then we go to, oh, now he's getting drugged a little bit. But let's just take that out, so now we're not getting hindered on that side of it. It's the same thing for the 342. You stood the guy up in the hole and then kind of got drugged back for a little bit, and then you drug him backwards back to the line of scrimmage. Okay, so let's just take those out. That will really help us, I think, just kind of clean some of the things up because we don't want to hinder you more than anything else. Right now, going to the sequence of plays. Okay, this is the next thing we want to look at. We want to do this in sections. Okay, and we want to start off with turnovers. Okay, that's your interceptions, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, and then go to your sacks, your TFLs. That's anything behind the line of scrimmage for a tackle for loss or disruptive at the line of scrimmage. And then for future use, so it's for this coming year, any PBUs that you have. Okay, and then any remaining defensive highlight. All right, and those remaining defensive highlights, I'll kind of show you some examples there. But it's not necessarily like a statistical play, but something that still showcases what you can do well. All right, now I've got all of these sections timestamped. Okay, and the reason being is because we want to have our best plays at the beginning of each section. Okay, and the reason on that side of it is because we want to be able to capture that coach's attention. Okay, because within a college coach is going to watch 60 to 100 kids in a day. All right, it's just what they do. You sit in a dark room, you listen to music, you got a lamp on, and you're just watching kids after kids after kids. Okay, and so that's why we don't want to have anything that's distracting. We got to have that information, so all the information's there. Okay, because we're not going to have the time to go back and find it. We don't have captions, we don't have music, we don't have background sounds. Okay, and we have all this in a flow with our sequence of plays to really help kind of clean things up. Because after a minute, okay, if that coach doesn't see something that he likes, he's going to go on to the next kid. Okay, so that's why we got to get all of these top plays early and then keep them going. Okay, so the ones I've got for you here, the very first one to start out with is your forced fumble here at the 43-second mark. Okay, what I would do is boom, just like you did. As soon as you pop in here, show yourself right there. Okay, and then I was getting ready to say, boom, this was a huge tackle. As soon as I saw the pop right here, boom. But then all of a sudden I saw the ball pop loose. All right, so that's what I was going to say. This is a huge tackle, but the way you've got this thing set up, boom, start off with that. All right, and then going to the 5-second mark here. Okay, the very first play you got, like I said, the reading, drop it back, that hook curl, boom, not there. Let's come up and get a sack. Okay, it's a great job there showing that pop. So that's where you see that pop there compared to the one at the 131 mark. That's a bigger difference. That's why with that 131 we want to take out. Okay, so start off with that. Now, going to the 52-second mark here. Okay, this is what I would start out with for your tackle for losses. Okay, just you're within almost close to the red zone. Okay, or on the 1-yard line, and boom, you drive him and you keep driving, and he doesn't even get close. That's the way you stink and stick somebody. Okay, so that's what I would start out with, and then follow that up with your one at the 17-second mark here. Okay, just showing your speed. Okay, being able to come meet this guy at an angle and tackle him in the backfield. All right, I mean this running back's trying to run stretch right here. Okay, nowhere to go. All right, actually they're running power basically counter, and you beat this thing. You see it here. You've already got him beat to this angle, so he can't get it. So boom, you beat him out here to the outside. Okay, showing that speed. Coaches want to see those guys that can play every down and not just be in between the box guy, so they can see that, especially being a Mike. Okay, that'll be very good for you. All right, next, like I said, then go to your PBUs, and then following up that with your at 106 for your main defensive highlights to kind of show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, just to make sure. All right, boom, ripping. Okay, sorting it through and making a tackle. Like I said, we're not a tackle for loss, but we still got a couple. They've got a couple yards, but we're still in there showing you can get through the tackles. Okay, they want to see you shedding blocks. All right, and then to follow that up, I would go to the 433 mark. Okay, I know it's your very last clip on here. Okay, but the way you come up, you're probably having to push out here, playing it with 3x1, having to play out here a little bit. Actually, it's empty. Okay, so we have to push out. This showing that the receiver is not going to block you. He misses his block, obviously, and you come up and make a huge tackle. Okay, that is a great job there. All right, so that's how I'd start those plays in each section. Okay, within each section, you want to have your best 3 to 4 to 5, maybe 6 plays. You can have more, give or take. If you've only got a couple turnovers throughout the season, add some more TFLs or remaining defensive highlights, because within that film, you only want to have it be 3 to 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, so like I said, information slide, remove those plays, change the sequence. Overall, this will provide a more dynamic highlight video for college coaches. All right. Now, after going over the game film feedback, let's take a look at what divisions you should target. All right, I'm basing this off of the most recent highlight video, which is exactly what college coaches are going to do, and where the athlete can receive a scholarship right now. I want you to understand that this is a current evaluation off the film we just went over, opposed to a projected evaluation. Okay, this is based on a few criteria. First thing is your graduation. All right, you guys are up right now, so we got to get this thing going. Okay, so we got to get this ball rolling to get this thing jump started. They're in spring ball, so we got to get our name out there for them, so when they come see us, they're ready to go. Next is going to be your size, foot speed, flexibility, power, and strength. That's what they're going to look for in a college linebacker. Okay. With that being said, the levels you should look at today for a scholarship are upper NAI to D2. Okay. Now, you should start getting interest and offers from these college coaches at these levels. Okay. And if not, you need to start the communication process with them through emailing and calling them. Like I said, they're in spring ball, so we need to start making this process so we make sure that they're coming to our school this spring to come see us. Okay. Come get meet our coach, get information on us. All right. You need to start getting your name out there through social media. Make sure you're following these coaches on X. Make sure once you redo your highlight video, make sure you're DMing it to them. Coaches, updated highlight video. Okay. Make sure you're marketing and branding yourself in the correct way, doing things on and off the field right. But going back to the DMing these coaches, we want to make sure that these camps that we're looking at attending, okay, that we're sending them our film, because we need to know if they like our video or not. Okay. Well, because if they don't like our video, then we may not want to go to their camp, because now we're not really putting our money towards the right things. But if there's a coach that really likes our video, put your money towards that and then go get an offer. Okay, make sure you're doing that, because then that's going to start with these prospect camps. You're going to start to build that relationship, because you're going to introduce yourself to these coaches. Then you can send them that mid-season highlight. Them seeing that more one-on-one setting, they're going to see how you did things and how you went about, and that translate to playing one-on-one, okay, in camp, and they're going to see it translate to the film. All right, and then they're going to know who they're watching in the mid-season highlight. Okay, so make sure we're doing that. But here's the deal: how can we also go attack these levels and get better? All right, my suggestion to improve your game that translates to college football and possibly a higher division are the following. First thing is strength training. Make sure we're adding good weight, developing more explosion and power. Okay, when you get to the college game, you meet that running back in the hole like you showed on that goal line stand, you've got to be able to deliver the blow. Okay, you can't get stalemated. You've got to drive him back from the get-go. Okay, and when you get to college, everyone's going to be faster, bigger, and stronger. Okay, next is flexibility. Pre and post training stretching. Got to be able to move, got to be able to open up the hips. Stretching is going to help improve that pad level against the run of the pass. Okay, some of that's going to be the individual work. If you guys don't do it as a team, make sure you're doing it on your own. But here's the deal: this is also going to help prevent injury, because your best ability is your availability. All right, if we're dinged up and nicked up, that's going to hurt our chances of video, which is going to hurt our chances of offers. You go to the college ranks, okay? You're dinged up and nicked up, then that's going to hurt your chance on the depth chart. All right. Next, work on your foot speed, dot drills, ladder drills, cone and back drills. Working on doing linebacker drills. Be able to get out of that drop, come up, and make a tackle, just like you showed there, okay, on that sack. Okay. Be able to open up those hips more and be able to read and react and get all that power heading downhill and not get stalemated. Okay. Next, continue linebacker technique development. Working on block destruction. Okay. Coaches have to know who can get off the block and come up and make a tackle. If you can't get off, they're going to notch it. That comes back to that strength and physicality. All right. Working on agility. Got to be able to get over the top of the box, be able to get the backside gap on an outside zone or pin and pull. Okay. But then at the same time, they play action. Boom. I read and run. I got to drop back to my hook curl. Okay. Or get to the flat wherever you got to get to. Okay. Development of coverage in man versus zone. Continue to develop this technique, because once you get to college, okay, it's not just zone across the board. One half might be playing man, one half might be playing zone. You and the safety might be bracketed number 3, so you got to be able to play man, but then everybody else playing zone behind you. Okay, and then lastly, working on that long speed. All right, work on that long speed. Track's coming up. Don't be afraid to run track. That's going to help you that much more. Okay, that's that speed training you're going to get. Running back's got a deep ball. You got to be able to stay with them. Like I said, linebacker coaches today are looking for a guy who can run with that fast tight end or running back. Okay, but also come up and make that big TFL. Okay, but these improvements are what a linebacker college coach will look at. So double down, do all these things, hit it hard, and if it translates to your video, this can help you level up your evaluation and possibly have an opportunity at that. And I think you could have a really good opportunity at that D1 FCS level. Okay, so make sure we work on those improvements. But Elijah, at the end of the day, man, everything is going to come down to your individual work, your outreach, as well as your marketing on social media. That is going to be huge for you to get your name out there. Okay, and your relationship building with college coaches. So relationships in college football are so important. As a player, from when I was a player and when you're a coach, okay, both sides. Okay, it's very important. Which is why the next step is your athlete interview, where you're going to get an interview with a coach and get coached on communication and your interviewing skills, which is critical for the conversations you're about to start having with college coaches. So make sure you watch the video beforehand and be ready to go. If you have any questions, we'll be able to answer them at the end of the interview. Thank you.